But I do want to, we have the House Freedom Caucus member, Texas Congressman Randy Weber, with us right now. And Congressman, I know I'm just hitting you with this as I was my prior guest, but the president willing to consider a hike in gasoline taxes and maybe others. What do you make of that? Is that a non-starter to you and the Freedom Caucus? What?
Well, Neil, thank you for having me on.
Thank you.
I don't want to speak for the whole Freedom Caucus. Gasoline tax hike in Texas is tough. Because we're conservative, you know, we have a lot of federal highways. Texas actually is, as I understand it, depends on what time of the year it is and exactly where in the budget. But we're generally either one of 2 or 3 donor states giving to the highway fund, but not getting what we would call our fair share back. So I'd have to see the details. Hopefully we've learned a lesson with the health care bill that was put up on the floor here was going to be put up on the floor a while back. Let us look through this. Let us do our due diligence. Let us make sure we all come together and that it's best for Americans, best for each individual state. So I'd have to see exactly what his proposal is.
Congress, in the meantime, you mentioned that health care bill, the effort to repeal and ultimately replace Obamacare. The president wants to see a vote on this latest effort, whatever its details are. You know better than I. Wednesday or Thursday of this week. Is that doable? Is a vote doable this very week?
Well, Neil, that seems to be the $64 question the leadership has been grappling with. I've been speaking to some of the leadership. I held out for a strong bill that repealed as many of the regulations as possible, that gave Americans and especially Texans more freedom. My understanding is that we're very, very, very close.
What does that mean? I'm sorry, this idea that you're close. I'm told that this latest effort got a lot of Freedom Caucus members, maybe yourself, a little more interested, but that it ticked off some of your moderate Republican colleagues who felt that it wasn't strong on pre-existing conditions. It put too much power in the hands of the states, left a lot of people guessing, so that whatever you gained with conservatives, you lost with moderates, and net-net, you didn't really gain that many votes. What do you think?
Well, I don't know the numbers. I would argue for the states' rights part of this discussion, Neil. I want my Texans in Texas, the Texas legislature, to be able to decide what kind of essential health benefits they want Texans to be able to get in an insurance bill and a health care policy. I don't want, you know, the federal government telling us what we have to accept, what the Texas legislature has to allow. I don't understand really quite so much why the moderates are not in favor of that. If you're from a state like New Jersey or Pennsylvania or the Northeast or anywhere really, California, it can be a more moderate state. Why don't you let their state legislature, who's closer to the people, decide what their residents want? That just makes so much sense to me. That's one of the things I held out for.
All right. Well, again, the details are yet to be ironed out. But again, a vote possibly this week on tax cuts, a separate issue here. Are you okay with a possible provision in that would no longer allow folks to write off their state and local taxes?
You know, I'm a business owner. I own an air conditioning company 34 years. So from a business perspective, I'm watching a lot of the provisions that would do anything to inhibit the growth of business, because businesses hire people. That's where the jobs come from. So if you can write off your state and local taxes, I understand that there's a quid pro quo when you're talking about a budget. When you're talking about revenue and you're talking about spending, you've got to determine where the ups and downs are, where the imbalance might be. You know, I would throw in here, though, too, Neil, that we've got to cut back federal government, cut back federal agencies, cut back federal spending. If we do that, then the revenue side won't take such a huge hit on it. And then you have to also throw in one of the things I think your previous guest kind of alluded to. If you get the economy growing, if you stimulate the economy, it creates more jobs, you have more people paying into the tax system. We don't need more taxes, we need more taxpayers. That's what we need. So with that in mind, you know, maybe a tax bill, depending upon what those cuts are, I want to see them. I want to make sure they stimulate business growth in the economy and create more jobs.
Yeah, because most people will look at this, no matter where they are in the income range, am I getting something substantial here? Is this going to really change my behavior? Congressman, thank you very, very much.
Yeah, thank you, Neil.